All right, guys, let's jump back into that same email that we received from the Nerd Zone. So we already read this email from top to bottom in the previous section, in the previous topic, but I want to look at the last line of this email. Nerd Zone says, we get our first look at Gorr the God Butcher in Thor 4. And yeah, if you don't entirely understand what it is that Nerd Zone is talking about here, Christian Bale has been cast as Gorr the God Butcher in the upcoming Thor Love and Thunder film, directed by Taika Waititi, and of course, starring Chris Hemsworth, right? We know that Natalie Portman is coming back to reprise her role as Jane, and that she is going to have some incarnation of the powers of Thor being imbued upon her as well. The main villain of the film has already been confirmed to be Gorr the God Butcher, as portrayed by Christian Bale himself, former Batman star himself, Christian Bale. And here now we get our first images of what Gorr the God Butcher looks like. If the page wants to reload. There we go. Now this particular website is coming from the Daily Mail, and there are so many pictures on this website. On the right, you can see what Gorr the God Butcher looks like in the comics. On the left, we see what Gorr the God Butcher looks like as portrayed by Christian Bale. You can see he's got a lot of makeup going on. He has these very flowy robes. You guys, when I look at this, I have a few knee-jerk reactions. My first knee-jerk reaction is of what's his name from Thundercats? Mumra. He looks like the villain Mumra from Thundercats. He just kind of has that like feel to him a little bit, right? The other feeling that I get here, especially when you have this one of the PAs on set right here holding kind of a gaffer pole, is these images are very evocative to me of Death, the Grim Reaper. But I'm talking about the Grim Reaper from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. That's the Grim Reaper that I'm thinking of. So these are just the emotional, visceral reactions that I'm having to this particular character. Let's jump into the website really quick and kind of scroll down so you guys can get a few more angles of what Christian Bale as Gorr the God Butcher looks like. Here he's walking around on set, trying to stay covered up from all the paparazzi, bringing us these particular photos. Here we have a few more photos. On the left, kind of a fairly close-up kind of Christian Bale. It looks like mid-scene or mid-sentence, mid-speech. You can kind of see some of the facial expressions on him a little bit. Maybe that'll be a little indicative as to what we can expect from the personality of Gorr the God Butcher to be. More and more and more images of just Christian Bale walking around on set. They're in California. They're on the beach. Lots of sun, lots of sand, lots of coverings happening all around. Mike, when I look at these pictures, when I look at these images, some of the things that I think of first are he looks it's not what I would expect a character named Gorr the God Butcher to look like. And I'm not going to profess here that I have always been in love with Gorr the God Butcher. I didn't even know who the character was until it was announced that Christian Bale was playing this character. However, having said that, I see these images and it looks kind of mystical. It looks kind of creepy. It looks like the kind of thing that I could really get behind. And of course, Taika Waititi is a master filmmaker. He's excellent at comedy. He's proven that again and again and again. So especially in a production like this, I'm really excited to see what it is that Gorr the God Butcher is actually going to look like the finished product. Mike, when you see these particular types of images, and Mike, please let me know if you're still there. Looks like your Skype is frozen once again. as you point out, Skype is such a lovely tool when it works, and when it doesn't, it is so maddening. So maddening. So I'm going to go ahead and say, Mike, you are probably not with us at the moment. But yeah, when I see these types of images, it gets me excited a little bit. It gets me excited to think of, like, what is this actually going to look like? What is it going to feel like? Normally when I see set photos like this, I think, my goodness, okay, like, it's a set photo, you guys. Let's not get all crazy. Let's not get all crazy about this. Let's take this for what it is. Let's understand the situation for what it is. A photo is not going to make or break a movie, you know? A photo is not going to make or break a movie. What it is going to do is give us just the tiniest insight as to what this character is going to look like, maybe feel like, maybe sound like. It's not going to be this incredible revelation as to, oh my goodness, oh, we saw our first images of Gorr the God Butcher. Oh, this is either incredible or it's terrible. No, it's a picture, it's an image. Do you remember when the first images of was Apocalypse from the Bryan Singer X-Men film, X-Men Apocalypse? When we first got our first image of Apocalypse, he was purple. We all know that Apocalypse is supposed to be blue. But even though it was not a very good movie, you can't judge that based off of a set photo. You can't judge that based off of, what the actor is dressed as. Because the colorization has yet to come in. Like, in X-Men Apocalypse, Oscar Isaac was wearing all this purple makeup because that's the color that they needed on set so that they could recolor the character later in post-production and get him to look blue, get him to look the way that he's supposed to look. So, Mike, when you look at these images for the first time, you get to see what Gorr the God Butcher or Christian Bale as Gorr the God Butcher looks like. First of all, does it get you excited? Where are you at with this kind of a thing? And do you think that these types of photos are even important?
Yeah, and let's hear it for Skype and technology. So nice and fun.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's like when I first saw the pictures, well, when I first read it, Gorr the God Butcher, I'm like, who is this? Okay. And he hasn't been around for too long, what, 2012? I think
Yeah,
it was saying.
something like that, yeah.
So pretty cool bringing in a new character
Fairly new, yeah.
into the universe. But yeah, when I saw the pictures, it's like, okay, that's not that intimidating. But then kind of talking about his height, his scale, and also you have to think about like what's CGI gonna do, because movies these days, so much is CGI. But just from like the picture so far, it's like not too intimidating. But I mean, looking forward to what they're gonna do, because they've had huge success. Marvel, they haven't steered us wrong too many times.
No, they have not. And not just Marvel, but like, Taika Waititi himself is just a genius. He's a genius at what he does.
Big time.
He's able to bring to life characters in a certain way that we haven't thought of before. We haven't looked at from these perspectives before, and he just like brings heart and comedy and light to these characters and these situations, and it's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing.
There's a reason Thor Ragnarok was such a big hit and success.
Yeah, because he's an incredible director.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, a big question that I have for you is, what do you think of these images of Christian Bale emerging on the interwebs as Gorr the God Butcher? We know that a still image is not going to make or break a movie. This incarnation of the character may look exactly like what you expected. It may look completely different from what you expected. But It could be anywhere in between. I want to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Scrooge McDuck would want you to do. DuckTales, woo!